204 is a very significant target as the positive catalysts continue pricing into the asset. A 5-day bullish formation is in the cards now alongside macro closures, and to top it all off, a massive bi-weekly bullish engulfing has printed, which has psychological upside written all over it. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Monday. This is ARCa. Let's dive into ticker symbol COSM. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Let's dive in straight to COSM. This is the bi-weekly chart that you're looking at here. And as you can see, this is in fact a massive bullish engulfing printed on the bi-weekly chart. And that happens when you have your forward green candle engulfing the entire body of the previous red one. And as you can see here, as we zoom in, you can clearly see that the green candle is entirely eating that small red one. So yes, this actually does have a psychological upside to it, right? So we have to observe price action as this is likely to continue to the upside from here. Now, the formation that you're actually looking at here on the bi-weekly time frame is part of a weekly formation, right? So here we go. This is the way we should be looking at this. And this is already, from the golden rule of 3, already performing 1, 2, and 3 tests, right? Test number 3 is usually the test that presents the biggest capitulation event. And what follows test number 3 is the true breakout, test number 4. Now, if it does fail number 4, it's okay. We still have a test number 5 to observe. But it is looking very okay. Very good, and I do expect a continuation to the upside, of course, with zigzags and variable, right? But it's still looking like there is positive price action coming in. So let's move up to the next chart here, as I do have some things to show you. So this is an 8-hour descending broadening wedge, similar to the weekly one that we just saw, but this is, in a smaller time frame. And I wanted to point this out because it did fulfill its topside target, right? So the topside target was anywhere. Well, I guess we're ever so shy from it, right? So I have this range because I couldn't really determine which topside we would actually favor, right? Whether it would be the center, the focus at 197, or whether it would be the 192 to 205. So today, price action ended up touching at, let's see, a high of $1.88. Oh, I'm sorry, that was actually on Friday. So we did officially fulfill this here, at least to the bottom side of the range, right? So 8-hour hammer down here, looking pretty good. It looks like another little bullish bull flag, right? And it looks like the upside is still more prominent than not. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have here. So this is a comparison between spot price action, Russell 2000, and this is the futures contracts, the E-mini Russell 2000 Index futures contracts. And you can, well, I mean, this is continuing right now, right? So it's live. Now, what we ended up doing is that upon this enormous recovery from the enormous downside that that spot price action was facing, you can see here on futures too, we were facing some huge underperformance, but that was likely due to the Fed, right, saying that there's going to be higher for longer regarding the rate hikes, right? So everything under the sun kind of showed that downside pressure. Right, so now, as you can see here, there's a massive recovery on the daily time frame on spot price action, and you could see here that COSM absolutely reacted to that as well. And upon doing so, COSM printed a very nice hammer candle here after a downside. So daily hammer looking pretty promising here, and it looks like this could be a sign of a continuation to the upside, as you can see that there are still bulls trying to control the market. Okay, so let's move on to the next chart here and see what we have, right? So okay, so this is going to be the ARQ. I don't know if you, I'm sorry, in the intro, you noticed that there were the ARQ indicators, which are the algos that we just released, and this is particularly one of them, right? So this is ARMor, and ARMor actually, if we were following the ARMor strategy, then you would notice here that there was a long signal printed at the opening, actually at the closing of this candle here, on the 4-hour time frame. So if we were to have followed the armor strategy, then it had us at the closing of this candle here, close that position, right? So you can see that it was about a 39 spot, 25% gain from the 4-hour time frame. And the curious thing here is it's not that. It's in fact that it printed another long signal here. And we are still respecting that long signal. And the support that we're facing right now is between 167 to 171, closing closing two 4-hour candles or an 8-hour candle upside of this does give us a pretty positive outlook for price action into the coming sessions. So there is an upside to be looked at here, and I do believe that the upside can reach up to a target of about $197 to $2 with a focus at $2.04 right at this candle here, which is the significance that I spoke of in the beginning in the intro. Right now, why I say that is actually very clear. Let me go ahead and block the visibility here from ARMor and show you something. Okay, so this is the 204 target, right? That white line. So upon beating that, the targets to the upside, I think I have them drawn. I think I have them drawn over here somewhere. Yeah, I do, right over here. Okay, so yeah, upon beating that 204 target right here, right, closing at least, I would say, an 8-hour to 12-hour candle minimum, right, clean upside of the 204 mark. That would lead to price action into this zone here, 238 to 261 with a focus at 249. Okay, so let's just look at it from the 204 mark. That would be a minimum 16.5% move to the upside, maximum 27, almost 28%, with a focus at around 22.5%. Right, and that's not even to mention where we are right now. So of course, I just want to make sure that we're practicing with confirmations and with all that good jazz for trading. Right, so 3-day time frame MACD looking very strong here. We have a this was actually on Friday, not this past Friday, a couple Fridays ago. This Friday, the September 8th, we actually got a bullish crossover here on the MACD on the 3-day time frame. That's incredibly bullish, and it's still suggesting an upside continuation here. So now here's the thing, that as soon as we start combating this area here, there is a chance that we can wick all the way up to the area of about 293. To be particular, it's 286 to 293. So the asset is actually moving in a very, very healthy manner and breaking market structures of all kind here. Okay, so now let me go ahead and go back to the following chart, as it was actually this one. Yeah, we already went over that one. And yeah, now finally, this is the 5-day closure that I spoke about in the intro as well. This would actually print on a 5-day massive 3 white soldiers, right? So this is very, very strong and potent, especially when looked at or observed in the 5-day time frame, right? So we're currently sitting at about 173 at traditional market close. So that means that, I guess, man, closing anywhere upside of 154 here would probably mark off a 3 white soldiers. I would really like to at least close this at about 183 at the minimum, right? We still have 1 day and 20 hours to close this, which would be Wednesday, the Wednesday at market close. This is going to be that judgment period for this candle here. And if it does print on a 5-day, 3 white soldiers, that has higher targets printed all over it. So definitely something that we should keep an eye on here. Yeah, as far as the statistical side of the analysis, we are absolutely still fired on that 5-day volatility versus momentum backtest, which is actually this very chart that we're sitting in right now. 6 out of 6 iterations throughout the entire trading history of the asset has led to an upside, right? So the upside mean is actually 162.05% over the span of about 116.25 days. The standard deviation, which is the center of the bell curve, right about here, 68% of the results are landing at about 373.4%. That would be a thrust to the upside. The lower bound of the first standard deviation would be a 78.10%. We'll go over these targets here. And the upper bound of the first standard deviation being in here would be 668.70%. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those, right? So 78% is leading to a target of about $2.08. Now, $2.08 sounds very familiar. Why? Well, because we just spoke about it. $2.08 would be that breaking point for us to consider a continuation to the upside. And here it is. This is 204, right? So I'm already suggesting in a discretionary manner that we should close, or if we close a daily or maybe 12-hour candle, I think I said 8 to 12 hours, right? If we close an 8 to 12-hour candle right upside of that 204, we can actually continue on to the upside. So statistically speaking, we're being told that already, right? That we may actually reach the target of about $2.08 from which target was it? Let's just go ahead and observe that one more time. Yep, that would be the lower bound of the first standard deviation at 78%. So being this right over here. Okay, so now beyond that, of course, we have some other targets to look at. This is the mean or the average, right? 162.44%. That would lead to a target of around 309. And then, of course, we have some ridiculous targets up there. 372.91 would be 68% of the results, landing at about 563. And then, of course, your upper bound of the first standard deviation, which are there's less probability in those, clearly, right? So that would be a target of about $9.08. So let's just go ahead and observe the price action here, as it is incredibly important for us to clear that 204 target first before we can talk about any $9 targets, right? So let's just be mindful over price action here. So 30-minute time frame RSI is actually using this SMA 14 as a bounce. Yeah, this could actually be used as a bounce to the upside because we are currently sitting in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile here. So this gravitational zone can pull us upward. Now, there is a little bit of resistance coming up on the bi-hourly time frame. However, this looks to be a very short-lived resistance, right? So that's where I'm thinking that we can reach that, maybe reach that 204. It may be too bullish here for the bi-hourly time frame, but it's still okay to observe, right? If we do reach that 204, that means that with pushing this RSI signal to the upside, your SMA 14 represented by the pink line may actually get influenced to the upside, which means that then we would be in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness or the bull weakness percentile, and this would actually have a good shot at clearing the SMA 14 to the upside. We will observe as time goes, right? So now, to back this up, the cascading effect would actually affect your 4-hour time frame, and it's already in the gravitational zone here of the bull weakness, right? So this would be a pretty nice area for us to continue on to the upside and then face an eventual resistance there, which would be 204 to 208. It's giving validity to those targets. So now 204 to 208, by the time we get to the 8-hour RSI, we would actually face a little bit of resistance since we are in the gravitational zone here of the bull strength percentile. It would actually come down ever so slightly, hopefully bounce from the bull weakness percentile gravitational zone as a support and continue onwards and upwards. Right. So now, as far as the 12-hour time frame, it's a little bit in consolidation right now. It's not in danger for a downside or actually prone for an upside here. It's just a slight upside with consolidation. I imagine that this is waiting for the influence from the shorter time frames as the shorter time frames cascade into each other, right? It's kind of like a domino effect. We need to make sure that we have enough bull pressure on the shorter time frames to cascade into the next, and so on. So now, leading into the daily time frame, the daily time frame does have a downside pivot. It's in the gravitational zone of the bull strength, which could be, looked at here for a downside, but we still have the opposing side as a probability for a bounce, right? So we need to observe that as we go too. Now, the 3-day time frame does have upside pivots here. It's barely outside of the danger. Actually, it's upside of the danger zone by about 0.5%, so we're okay. And very, very nice looking 5-day RSI here, as it has made that bullish crossover and it's within the bullish control zone here. And this would actually have gravitation pretty soon. Seeing that in 1 day and 20 hours, which would be on Wednesday, we would get this 5-day closure with the 3 white soldiers validating the gravitational zone to the upside. Everything is looking pretty good for the COSM asset thus far, team. So now you know the play, you know what's going on. This is my opinion. It looks like it's acting pretty good. If you have any questions or concerns, definitely reach out to me on Twitter or Discord. go ahead and reach. The Discord is actually free, or join up, right? So go ahead and join and say hi to the peeps there. There are very nice people in there, okay, team? Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good night. And I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.